Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the affable, the lovable, the totally awesome Dr. Yukon Suck It. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it, everyone. Thank you. Yukon Suck It. Tell your mama. So I am broadcasting today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aether Hub, hosted by TayMalice. Thank you, TayMalice. And then I changed it somewhat. So if you're interested in what the original deck looked like, follow the link in the description. It'll take you back there. If you want the deck list that I'm playing today, just go ahead and use the deck list I list in my description below. I made changes probably to the lands. People have a love for pain lands I just can't stomach. And I got rid of Liliana. I cannot get myself to discard my own cards. I usually like the things in my hands. So I have a really hard time with her. But I did put some other cards in instead that you didn't see in the original lineup. It was Braids and the Saggy Pilgrim there. So we'll take a look at these cards really quick. We'll talk about a little bit of what they do, and then we'll get out on the test track and try the deck out. At the low end, we've got Dread Fugue. Dread Fugue, even if you don't get, it says here, target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it with a mana value of 2 or less. That player discards a card. Even if they're not discarding anything, knowing what they have in their hand is worth the 1 mana. It's worth it. Especially right off the bat. You know what you're playing against. Helps you out a ton. Okay, so we have 2 creature kills. We got Fateful Absence and Infernal Grasp. In Fateful Absence, they get a clue artifact. Infernal Grasp, you lose 2 life. This one takes out creature or planeswalker. This one takes out creature. They're both the same cost. 1 color mana and nothing. Or not nothing, but colorless. So there's your creature removal. We've got 2 things that we got Sungold Sentinel and Graveyard Trespasser that both are 3 for powers, and whenever they enter the battlefield or attack, you remove a card from the graveyard. Now, the Graveyard Trespasser is a little better than the Sungold Sentinel. Sungold Sentinel does have the ability to gain hexproof from a color, but that's only if you got Coven going on. Not COVID, but Kovan. So anyways, but these 2 were essentially the same cards as well. It's interesting, the pairings between black and white. They're both in here. We got Tenacious Underdog, who I like this art a lot better than the original art that's on it. And I've just really soon discovered that this guy is really a pretty decent card draw engine. It costs you 2 life and 4 mana, but you are getting a hasty 3/2 out of the deal, even though he does destroy himself at the end of the turn. Meathook Massacre is tempo because, well, let's talk about the tempo cards in here. We got the Saggy Pilgrim, Meathook Massacre, Sheoldred. Yeah, those are your tempo cards. And what that is that, based on triggered events that occur, then you usually gain life while your opponent loses life. And so that's definitely affecting the life counter clock that makes things worse for your opponent and better for you. Meathook Massacre does it whenever a creature you control dies, your opponent loses a life. Whenever an opponent's creature dies, you gain a life. The Sadistic Pilgrim says whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. Whenever another creature you control dies, your opponent loses a life. So there's a lot of life lost to your opponents between these 2. Sheoldred is whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever your opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. So, man, those things will just add up over the price of the game. We've got Braids in here. Okay, so Braids is a legendary creature. She's a nightmare. She looks just like the dude from was that Stranger Things, hanging out in the attic of that house with all of the things totally spoked into her. But at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. For each opponent that doesn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. So if you can get stuff you don't particularly care about, you know, and the weird part about this is lands. Like usually they don't let you go at lands, but as long as you're willing to sacrifice a land, then they kind of have to sacrifice a land as well. Now, if they don't, they choose not to, then they lose 2 life and you would draw a card, which is actually, might be worth it. So if someone were to say, hey, sacrifice a land, your opponent loses 2 life and you draw a card, you'd go for that sometimes. Well, that's what Braids gets you the opportunity to do. We got Wandering Emperor, who is white removal. She just jumps out of nowhere and cuts somebody in half super quick. Other than that, she puts out Samurais and +1/+1 counters, right? Invoke Despair is a big heavy hitter. We got 4 of them in here. You got to get that 4 black mana, though. And, and then the 5th of whatever. But opponent has to sacrifice a creature, enchantment, and not or, but and a planeswalker. And for each one that they can't do because they don't have them, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. That's a lot like Braids there, right? So Invoke Despair and Braids both have that same kind of thing where you kind of pick what it is that they have to do. So Braids is really a Invoke Despair. The only problem is that there's that casting cost, which is you have to, eye for an eye kind of situation. All right, and lastly, we got Cruelty of Gix. Cost you 5, which is actually really good for the effects you get. I would expect this to be more of a 6 or a 7. But this is a 5. First turn, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker, and they have to discard it. Fantastic. No limit. It's just creature, planeswalker, gone. Search your library for a card, and then put that card into your hand, then shuffle, you lose 3 life. Now that could be bad, is that loss of 3 life, but it's a tutor. You can go get anything, and you put it back in your hand. Now that means you're going to have 5 mana by this point, which means you can pretty much get whatever you want out of the rest of this deck. Right? I think, when I was playing this, I was going after Shouldreds most of the time. Lastly, the last thing it does, you put a target creature from a graveyard, not just your own, onto the battlefield under your control. So if someone's been killing off your Braids or your Shouldred or your Saggy Pilgrim, you could go fetch them back, or you get something out of their graveyard if they have something specifically good. Maybe it's a Titan of Industry or something. You put that out and you're ready to go. So this is a fantastic card. Also, it's got read ahead. So if you just want to go straight to the get something out of your graveyard, you could just do it. All right? You could just do it. Over here, we've got a single Kamigawa White, which does 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Who has single Kamigawa Black, allows you to mill and then bring a planeswalker or a creature from your graveyard to your hand. So a little bit of graveyard reanimation. We got the dual lands that are slow but gain you a life. The dual lands that are usually fast, provided you have 2 or more mana out already. And a bunch of basic lands. And that is it. Looks like we have more black than white. But we definitely have more black than white. So let's take this thing out and see how well it does. All right, playing against Howie. All right, I can dig it. Howie. 1, 2. Mulligan. Gosh, dang it. I'll keep it, though. Cruelty of Gix. Let's see, we're going up against here. Cut down. All right, 2. Let's go ahead and put out Sungold Sentinel. Gone. We don't have much of a game so far. This is pretty low-end stuff. All right, I'm going to Tenacious Underdog. And then we're going to go after his hand again. All in, boys. All right, we got expensive. Mana value 2 or less. That's like everything I have. I got life. Let's go draw some cards. Can we get to things before Toxrill hits the board? Eat it! Who we taking on now? That's my side. Nope. Very cool. Alright, that's cool. What has he got? Still just 5. You can put that +1 counter on my guys if you like. That'd be fine. Yeah, okay. Let's go waste some more life. Nope. Nope. Target opponent reveals their hand. Choose a creature or planeswalker. Discard that card. Ah, that'd be so nice. And we win! Victory! Alright, playing against crustysock. Ugh. Oh, plenty of mana this time. Start off a little something slow for all you lovers out there. Alright, another black. We got nothing to do except for kill things until turn 5. Oh no, 4, there we go. Pass. Dual land. Okay, we got the 2 whites. We're good to go. I'm thinking at this point he attacks with that. I jump out, throw a samurai in front of it. Is that jerk? Samurai! Slaughters the dog. Out of nowhere. Let's invoke some despair. Alright, we are out of mana at the moment, but she likes to pump up these dudes. Alright, he's got 3 mana. He's been choking on mana fumes. Cruelty of Gix ought to be really nice. We'll submit it at 1. Don't have much of a choice there. Let's go ahead and pop this guy. Wait. We were just looked at their hand. What do we got? 2 or less? Just got a bunch of... Those things suck butt. Let's see. Enchanted creature cannot attack or block. This just pumps things up. No tax. So I got the ability to kill it. And other than that, I guess it puts more dudes out. What's this thing gonna do for me? Search library for a card. Put card for creature. You coming at me, yo? Sholdred. More than meets the eye. I'll pump them up later. Yes, you know what you're gonna do? Get rid of the Kamiya Transients. Suck that, Kami. Now prepare for the exiles. Thank you. One, two, three, four, five, six. All right. Do I want a 4/4 flyer or something with life gain? Let's take the flyer. We're just ripping graveyards apart today. All attack. Wow, everybody else is new. That's nuts. Looking good, Duffy Moon. Victory! All right, playing against Osayun. Osayun. 1, 2, 3. Let's keep it. No pet, no sleeves. Pretty dumb looking Jace avatar. I gained a life. Throwing out Tenacious D. And another. Guy's playing with like Grixis colors up there. Only got one. He's not gonna be able to do much. You can shoot for 2. There you go. Some people need to be rooted out. All right, we got 4 mana. Not enough for Invoke Despair. We need at least another 2 more black. No blocks. We're going to have to use the Tenacious D and some of our life to try to see what we can pull out of the graveyard. Let's encourage him to attack. But leaving ourselves open. Oh, he's smart. What are we going to do here? All right, still enough for despair, but we can go through their hand. Let's get rid of the harvester. I'm going to play a defense. There we go. You really don't like her that much, huh? All right, let's go ahead and just kill these dudes. He's willing to give up everything to get rid of the Wandering Emperor. I'm kind of surprised he just didn't Meathook, right? That's what that is? Meathook? Yeah. All right, let's get out of Sheoldred. I don't think he's got enough to kill it with the Meathook. I'll attack. That Sheoldred is probably going to be devastating to him. He only can do 4. And we win! Victory! Alright, playing against kullonono. Kullonono. Right? 2 mana. That's funny. It's actually not so bad. Alright, Tenacious D. Seen Rakdos so far. $17. Let's really shut them up. Alright, there is 4 mana. Let's pick some dudes off here. I don't really mind hearing what the people have to say, but yeah, that goblin is annoying as all hell. Another one. Just can't let it be. Come on, just sit back and take it, my friend. Samurai up. So like on his turn, there's a guy that we need to... So one thing is, can I snack them all? Can I snag them all with the Meathook Massacre? Ooh. I think the answer is absolutely. Yes, okay, so now I'm starting to think about it. If he Kiki-Jikis the Blood Harvester, then he can create 2, blow out the Sheoldred. So basically we're going to lose the Sheoldred out of the deal here. And here I think I was just being efficient. Nope. And another one. All right, let's go for it here. 1, 2. What kind of damage can you do? Nope, there we go. Winner, winner, victory dinner. All right, so here we are with Orzhov mid-range. And it was an incredibly cool deck. There was some really good stuff going on. I really like the tempo feel that this thing has going for it. A lot of the new cards from Dominaria United there. What I mean by that is we got Sheoldred, where whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life, the opponent loses 2 life. That's tempo. The fact that, where else was I going to see that at? This guy, the Saggy Pilgrim, that whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life. You know, so it's just adjusting that whole life tempo for what's going on. Cruelty of Gix was amazingly cool. I really like that a lot. It cost 5. You can search your library for a card, put that in your hand, and then shuffle on the second turn. Just go get whatever you needed to as a tutor, right? Plus, you could choose any creature or planeswalker out of their hand on the first turn and force them to discard it. Man, there's a lot of dangerous stuff that people are holding on to. Last play was what there? Put a creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. No, this is a great, great, great card. Ah, man. So the one thing about this deck is that I kind of felt like it was a good deck, but I kind of feel like it really, what it taught me was that there's a lot more to be done. I mean, we've only been in Dominaria United now since like a few days. And there's still a long way to go until we get these things tightened down tight and start really, getting out of it. Start wringing those synergies that are going to make some incredible decks. I can feel them. They're there. I mean, I just, for some reason, I'm really into tempo, and I can just see it in this deck. There are things that just need to be tinkered with a little bit. Meathook Massacre is another tempo card there. So, I just found my love for Sungold Sentinel today. What an incredible card. I mean, because the stuff that you're playing out of graveyards, there's a lot of it. And Sungold Sentinel and your Graveyard Trespasser are just ripping those apart. So, thank God we got both of those in there. You know, the funny part, here's a 3-2, she's a 3-3. I can see why this is 1 more mana, okay? Because, yeah, the black one is technically better. But the Sungold Sentinel, as far as just being a 3 for power and, always removing something out of the graveyard, is just as powerful as what the Graveyard Trespasser is doing for the most part. I got Braids in there. We never got Braids out. I think I did 1 time. Braids is pretty cool. I mean, Braids can take out lands. You have to take out your own lands to do it. But there's just so much good stuff here, and this is a really good intro into what these cards do. So let's give this the rating. The question is this deck competitive? And I think in my research here, the answer is no. I played it, looks like 9 times, and I only got a 56% win rate. When I'm looking at who I lost to, it was black, 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 and Orzhov. So basically, it's black removal. Anytime that I played against a mirror match against a deck that was doing like mono black control, we ended up losing. And yeah, I think it might have been maybe I was going second. I don't know. It just, yeah, they just kept taking out all my dudes. And this is, despite the fact that we got a bunch of control, we do need our guys to live. We don't have man lands like we used to be able to have unkillable stuff that can only be killed at, instant level. So we'll have to see what the future holds for us in other sets. But right now, this deck is still holding up pretty well. So, but is it competitive? I'm going to say no, it is not competitive. But does it win? Yes, it does. It's not a big stinking loser deck. Is the deck fun? Yes. Is the deck interesting? Yes, it's very interesting. Mostly just because there's a bunch of new cards in here. They've got their own feels to them, and it's nice to get used to them. I guess the bunch of new cards is really just the Saggy Pilgrim, Braids, Sheoldred, and Cruelty of Gix. But I don't know. I found newfound respect for the Sungold Sentinel big time. Big time. Yep. So what am I going to rate this one? I'm going to give it an A-. I'm going to give it an A-. Just because I think this is a great deck. I think it's one that we should play regularly. I just don't think it's going to be the kind that you're going to be winning with all the time. You're definitely going to be fighting a lot. I mean, it is a fighter. It definitely affects the other people. It's not like you're going to sit there and just get your butt kicked nonstop. You may not be winning, but you will be playing. So if you so choose to play with this deck in the future, I hope you have as much fun with it as I did. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.